So the calendar has turned to October, which means we are firmly entrenched into the fall. If you're like me and you love football and fall beers, and quite frankly, whether that doesn't make you sweat through every pore of your body, this is great news. That being said, from a lawn care perspective, all of those leaves that were hanging out on your trees through the spring and the summer are starting to fall down and cover your lawn. And I know a lot of us desire a perfectly manicured lawn even through the fall, so we might feel compelled to rake away those leaves, bag them up, and get them the heck out of our yard. That being said, many of you may have noticed the Leave the Leaves movement, which encourages folks to leave those fallen leaves in their yard primarily because they provide useful habitat to many insects and wildlife that are so important to our ecosystems. But what you might not know is that those fallen leaves can actually benefit your lawn, as those leaves that fall will decompose over time, returning much needed organic matter back to the lawn. So this might create a dilemma for you in the fall, where you certainly want to have the beautiful aesthetic associated with a manicured lawn, but you also want to take advantage of those benefits associated with leaving the leaves in the fall time. So let's talk options. So your first option, and quite possibly the most obvious option, is to simply leave those leaves come fall time. They'll provide great nesting habitat for insects, they'll bring that organic matter back into your lawn, but of course the sacrifice you're making here is you're not going to have that perfectly manicured lawn aesthetic that you may desire. An option that might be of interest to those of you that desire that perfectly manicured, beautiful lawn is to actually mulch your leaves in the fall time. What I mean when I say that is to run the mower over those leaves, break them up into smaller pieces that'll decompose faster. This will help to make sure that the lawn isn't smothered, isn't covered in leaves throughout the fall, spring, etc., but you'll still have that nutrient matter returning to your soil. A third option, especially if you want to have that manicured look through the fall, you don't want to have any of those unsightly weeds, is to just rake them into a pile. But what I'd encourage you to do is, rather than bagging them up and throw them away, maybe put them into a less trafficked part of your yard, or even better, into a garden bed, where your garden will desire that breakdown of nutrient matter that comes from those leaves. So don't just throw them away, consider how you could use those fallen leaves. My preference is actually a combination of a few of these techniques, where I'll leave a light layer of leaves in my lawn so I can get that organic matter returning to the lawn, and I'll rake those leaves away into a garden bed as not to disrupt the overwintering insects and get those benefits of the decomposing organic matter in my lawn.